Hi, my name is Mathieu Woillez. I'm working at IFREMER in Brest, and today I'm going to talk about French studies that have been led to better understand bass population structure and connectivity. The European bass have a strong socio-economic weight with an important professional and recreative fishing. Among the four stocks that the International Council for the Exploration of the Sea have defined, two of them are showing some decreasing strength lately. The northern stock and, in a lesser extent, the Bay of Biscay. The northern stock, which comprised the Irish Sea, the Celtic Sea, the English Channel, and the North Sea, was in a worrying state because of high fishing pressure and a series of low recruitment that have reduced drastically the spawning stock biomass. Since 2015, management measures were taken to reduce the pressure on this stock and to improve the health of the population. But the population structure and connectivity were poorly known at that time, and this may have some consequence on its state and its management. So we developed a series of studies to better understand how bass population structure spatially and what is its connectivity. So to study bass population structure and connectivity, a large-scale tagging survey was carried out from 2010 to 2016 along the French coast. Tagging took place in 11 cities, from the southern North Sea in Dunkirk to the southern Bay of Biscay in Cabreton. 1,466 individuals were tagged with electronic tag that record temperature and pressure at high resolution. We collect fish scale and tissue at capture, and we also collect otolith and scale at recapture when available. 522 tags were returned that correspond to a recovery rate of 35%. From the temperature and the pressure time series of a recovered tag, we can reconstruct the track of an individual using a geolocation model. Here you got an example of a reconstruct track of an individual that was tagged in Western Island in summer 2012. You can see that movements are not random. The bass migrate the first winter to the Bay of Biscay, then return to the Ira Sea the next summer. It shows fidelity to the summer feeding ground. It then migrates again toward the Bay of Biscay the second winter, showing also fidelity to spawning ground. Migration strategies were studied from more than 350 track reconstruction. We were able to confirm that sea bass is a partial migratory species with some sedentary individual and other that migrate over long distance. We also confirmed that most of the migrants are showing fidelity to winter spawning ground and to summer feeding grounds. And for the Western Channel, the migration strategy is calling into question current stock limit. So here you got a plot of individuals that were tagged in 5 portrieux. When they are close to their tagging location, they show a gray color. And when they migrate in winter to their spawning ground, they are taking the color of the stock where they belong to. So in 5 portrieux, most of the migrants are going to the Bay of Biscay to reproduce, while in the Eastern English Channel, you see that most of an individual are within the northern stock during winter time. So for clarity, here are some example track of an individual that migrate and stay within the north, and two individuals from the Western Channel, either going to the north and staying in the northern stock, or going to the Bay of Biscay to reproduce. And a fourth trajectory that is an individual tag in the Bay of Biscay that reproduce in the Bay of Biscay. In a second step, we analyze jointly the otolith composition and the tracking data. So the idea was to develop a classification model based on the 2 years of monitoring data we had from the data storage tag. And so for those 2 years, we know where the fish go to spawn. So we got the spawning location, but we also have the otolith composition. So we can build up a classification model and use it to predict for the other winter that happen in the life of these adult sea bass, if they were still going to reproduce in the same spawning location. And what we are able to show is that 77% of adults show fidelity to spawning ground. And it confirms also that in the northern Brittany there is stock mixing, so there is individual that either go to spawn in the northern stock or either to the Bay of Biscay. We also wanted to better understand what are the underlying mechanisms that explain such a fidelity to spawning ground. So the question is there some nataloming in sea bass population that would explain that fish would come back to their birth location to spawn, but the results were not conclusive. Then we look at the genetic and tagging data together, and we evidence a spatial structure that vary according to seasonal migration. So the limit between the two entities that have been identified are either in summertime between the eastern and the western channel, and in wintertime between the channel and the Bay of Biscay. So what we see is that the Bay of Biscay stock seems to extend to western channel during the feeding season in summertime. We also looked at fishery data to characterize spawning grounds. So we analyze capture per unit effort of French vessels that were equipped with a vessel monitoring system, a kind of GPS, so you can track accurately the position and the behavior of fishing vessel. And we were able to map the probability of occurrence of spawning location during the months of the reproduction in the English Channel. And we were able to evidence the area of recurrence in the north of the Cotentin Peninsula and also in the Western English Channel. So we use those maps to study the connectivity between the spawning ground and the nursery area. To do so, we develop a model that simulates the eggs and larvae pelagic drift depending on ocean condition and current. So we confirm at a larger scale the UK findings that the oceanographic condition and larval behavior influence settlement success at the scale of both stock. But also we saw that pelagic eggs from the Biscay spawning ground substantially contribute to the northern sea bass nurseries depending on ocean conditions. To conclude, this new evidence on bass population structure and connectivity should be accounted for in stock assessment and forecast model to provide a reliable and scientific advice. And this work is under progress at the European level. Thanks for your attention.